Danke, Brian. And actually, maybe I tried as well. Guten Morgen. Guten Morgen. Yeah, we're here at the Goethe Institute. So actually, probably all of you speak German anyway, so that's nice. It's good to be here, actually. I see so many familiar faces. And Chris and I used to work together at John Wiley, which is quite a long time ago. But still, I also used to work here for Springer Nature, even before John Wiley. So our office was at the, what's it called? The Flatiron Building, this piece of cake, yeah. And it took us always, I remember, half an hour with the elevator to get up, half an hour. I did smoke a lot at that time, and obviously had to take many breaks. So, welcome everyone, and thank you, BISG, Brian O'Leary, and our longtime friend Chris Kleeman. I think I have to find my glasses. For inviting us here to be part of this hybrid event. I'm glad to be back in New York City in person, and also to have the opportunity to reach all of you who are joining us via Zoom. I'm honored and happy to be in a room full of foreign rights experts and publishing folks. Making books available all over the world is such an important task. It's also a very difficult and complex job when you're dealing with different types of contracts, regulations, and new emerging formats in media. I applaud BISG for their challenging work finding industry solutions, developing and implementing standards such as those for royalty statements, which enable an easier process and smoother communication within our community. We in Frankfurt are happy to be part of this community. And we also believe in the strength of networks, of bringing people together, of in-person meetings and exchange. I think this is what characterizes our publishing industry, an industry that works by relationships built on trust. You know, Frankfurter Buchmesse is a subsidiary of the German Bookseller and Publisher Association. And as the world's probably oldest, largest, hopefully most important relevant book fair, we are the annual meeting point for international publishing and a place where industry problems are discussed and diverse players from all over the world are connected. I don't know whether you know it, I always like to tell that because we celebrated 75 years last year after 49, but the first documents we have go back to 1431. So there was a book fair before Gutenberg started printing. Yeah, there was a marketplace which actually then turned into the Frankfurter Buchmesse. And this marketplace started close to Frankfurt in Mainz, where Gutenberg invented printing, and it left Mainz because there was too much censorship by the Catholic Church. And Frankfurt was a city of trade, and it belonged to the emperor. It was a free city. Yeah? So again, what we are dealing with, this content we are dealing with, has always been in the public eye, and people try to control it. And so it's very important, actually, what we are doing when we are trusting each other and selling each other rights. The rights business is at the heart and core of the fair. We have been witnessing the rights business increase and evolve over the last decade. The numbers of literary agents who have attended the book fair and deals made have also grown since the pandemic. The more than 540 tables sold last year in our literary agent and scout center represents a record over pre-pandemic booking levels. Everything in Frankfurt has long traditions. I mentioned it. The history of the Frankfurt Rights meeting does not go back that far, but for over 30 years it has been the meeting place for all decision makers in the field of rights and licenses, exploring different markets and topics from audio, cross-media. Yes, there was a time when we were talking about CD-ROMs at the rights meeting, to AI and film and streaming rights. Actually, Michael Healy, we met more than 30 years ago in Berlin when he was working for a company called Silver Platter.
I was 5 years old.
You were 5 years old, and these were databases on CD-ROM, actually, and it was the greatest thing at that time. Yeah, it was unbelievable. Yeah, so, again, it's a long time. Like last year, the 2024 Frankfurt Rights meeting will be taking place in a hybrid format, with 4 digital sessions in the weeks before the fair, and an in-person networking event in Frankfurt on the Tuesday right before the fair. And while I know many of you have meetings on that day, if you can, I encourage you to attend. Each year, the meeting features speakers discussing topics of interest to rights professionals, and regulars note that they have made valuable connections at the networking part of this event. Our successful Book to Screen Day in Frankfurt, connecting players from the publishing industry with film and television production companies, rounds up our rights event. In 2023, we added panels on licensing topics and featured speakers from Mattel and Licensing International. This year we have approached it, actually we're talking to the music industry. We're talking to people like BMG, Bertelsmann Music Group, and on the other hand we've been approached by companies who deal with printed music. Yeah? It's something I forgot completely about it, that's still around, and it's a big business, and the largest market for that is China actually. And there used to be a music show in Frankfurt, which doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, and so probably we'll bring the music people into our rights approach as well. Not only during these events, but also with its entire trade program and numerous stages and events, the fair is a place where current trends and challenges in international publishing are being discussed. At the last fair, for instance, the use, potential, and challenges of AI in publishing was a big topic. Everybody talked about. I think this will go on for the next 2 years, and then it will disappear again, and then we have another thing to talk about. Yeah, I just read an article, I don't know whether it was in New Yorker, that actually everybody talks about AI, but nobody actually has developed a business model, at least not for our industry. And this is the next big step. Can I make money out of this? Does it not only help me in publishing to streamline my processes, yeah, or like a supporting tool? Because most of these tools have been around for quite a while. But what never happened, that there is a substantial business model behind it. However, as you know, the rights business never stops, and there's more to Frankfurter Buchmesse than a couple of days of wheeling and dealing in October. We also, Frankfurter Buchmesse, has a cultural mission entrusted to us by the German Foreign Office. We are in a private-public partnership with the German Foreign Office. In German, it sounds quite odd. We are Instrument der auswärtigen Kulturpolitik. We are an instrument of foreign cultural policies, yeah? Like the Goethe Institute where we are here, or the German Archaeological Institute, or the DAAD, the German Student Exchange Service. So what we do is we bring German publishers and rights directors to more than 20 international book fairs and festivals around the world and organize a lot of international events. Workshops that also deal with the topic of selling and buying foreign rights for industry professionals in numerous countries, including, for example, Argentina, Indonesia, India, Mexico, Brazil, and the Ukraine. Spearheading our projects and activities here in New York City is Ricky Stock. Where are you, Ricky? With my glasses, I can see you. Who most of you know. And Ricky waved, so behaves well. And some of you probably also know Hanife Ichten. Hanife, where are you? Back there, from our sales team. She's responsible for our publishers from the United States, Canada, New Zealand, as well as Turkey, Cyprus, and Greece. It's a nice mixture. I still think, how did this develop? But you speak perfectly Turkish and some sort of connection to this region. Some of you might also know our colleague Jenny Kühne, who oversees all our rights film and licensing activities, including Frankfurt Rights, the Frankfurt Rights Meetings, the LitAC, the Literary Agent Center, and the Publisher Rights Center. Jenny was in New York last week attending the NYU Advanced Publishing Institute, but now she's back in Frankfurt and is joining this meeting virtually. So we cannot see her waving. Frankfurt and the rights business are intertwined all year round. We have been working with the Cannes Film Festival on Shoot the Book for many years. We have been hosting Books at Berlinale together with the Berlinale International Film Festival since 2006. During Books at Berlinale 2024, 10 selected novels will be pitched by the rights holders to an audience of internationally established producers at the Berlinale co-production market. And we have our own year-round aggregated international platform, Frankfurt Rights. Some of you might know it as IPR license, to facilitate and support the rights trade throughout the year and to free up time for the rights department in their day-to-day work. We do believe that online platforms help and support the rights ecosystem and reduce administrative workload. Platforms are there to simplify. The more international we are, the more important are the standards. Yes, the importance of face-to-face conversation and personal connection is a big part of what drives rights discussions. But there's also intense detail in legal contractual parts of every deal that happens between authors and publishers, and indeed publisher to publisher. When we started these film activities, we had the first 3 years, all the publishers and the film companies only sent in lawyers. Yeah? We were not able to do business. It was just lawyers trying to protect their intellectual property on both sides. So it took a long time. Creating standards, using great systems to track and manage all of this detail, continuing to think about ways that all publishers can join together to clarify and simplify processes for rights exchange, embracing technology where it can help. All of these initiatives can definitely lead to efficiencies and improvements that then lead to stronger publishing programs and allow for more face-to-face conversations and an overall increase in cultural exchange of titles. Which brings us back to Frankfurt. It's our mission. It's the mission of Frankfurter Buchmesse to connect the different industry players from all parts of the world. Last year we had participants from over 130 countries attending the fair. We also always showcase and highlight best practices and new ideas on our different stages and conferences. Bringing experts on the stage and helping the publishing industry understand AI, audio, e-books, digital formats, technical tools is another big aspect of the FBM, Frankfurter Buchmesse mission, and it will continue to be though. Let me close by showing my respect to all of you, rights experts, and your valuable work. The world would have fewer books without you. Vielen Dank.